Rick, UPS announced today it would slash about 20,000 jobs this year and close more than 70 buildings the company either owns or leases by the end of June. UPS says it's reviewing its network and may decide to close more buildings. Tech giant Amazon will close its warehouses in the province within the next 2 months, putting nearly 2,000 people out of work.
Now, the second question you ask yourself is, what's my worth to the marketplace? How much will I get paid if UPS decides to lay me off? Will it be as much as UPS is paying me, or will it be more? What skills do I have to make the same money that I'm making at UPS? That's the question you ask yourself, and that one is definitely a serious question.
FedEx laying off hundreds this time around, but the company says it's a small number.
Some of the workers who spoke to CBC Montreal say things started going sour once they unionized, and the union feels that unionization is very much the cause of today's announcement.
Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video, guys. My name is Andre, and as usual, if you're stopping by for the first time, please consider subscribing. And while you're at it, just go ahead, smash that like button for me. I really appreciate it. Also, remember to hit that post notification bell so that you will be notified whenever I upload a new video. Now, guys, as usual, we're going to be taking a look at some of these layoffs. This is between Amazon, FedEx, and UPS. And we're really going to take a look at some of these numbers because, again, guys, the logistic industry is definitely taking a big hit. So without further delay, let's jump right into it.
Amazon is a company that employs thousands of Canadians with warehouses in many provinces. But what we're talking about today is the 7 warehouses in Quebec and the almost 1,800 people who are employed by Amazon in Quebec, some of them full-time, some of them part-time. And today they are learning that over the next couple of months, at some point in the next couple of months, they will be out of a job because Amazon has made this decision that it's going to be closing operations in Quebec. At this point, we are just talking about operations in Quebec, nowhere else in Canada, and it is in Quebec, and that the only Amazon employees, and really just a small number of them, between 250 to 300 last spring, took the steps to unionize. Pow! Now, that was at the Laval warehouse in Quebec. Our CBC crew was able to catch up with some of those particular employees who are just taking in the bad news today. I want to play you a little bit of their reaction.
We have to pay about everything, the house, car, the kids, family, and it's so bad. It's so sad, I'm so sad.
Nobody saw this coming.
What you gonna do?
I have no idea. I'm blank as of now.
Yeah, some of them are crying. Actually, some of them are crying. What we gonna do now? It's in 2025 is hard to find one stable job, and we have to just start over.
Now, before I go ahead and dive deep into this one, let me just say, whether you're an Amazon driver, UPS driver, FedEx driver, DHL driver, post office driver, tractor trailer driver, it doesn't matter. We are all one family. And whenever we see a trucking company going bankrupt or laying off in large number, or an Amazon closing down businesses, or UPS firing 20,000 people, we all think the same way. We all think of each other. Because again, we are one family. We do the same thing, just from a different uniform. So again, guys, my heart goes out to anyone that has lost their job or is about to lose their job. So that is one of the main points that I want to make in this video. Now, for the Amazon guys, this happened just about 90 days ago, so I'm expecting that a lot of these guys would have already been laid off or just about to be laid off. No, there are definitely talks about the reason as to why Amazon ceased operation in this particular area, closing down these 7 buildings. Now, let me just say that it's because one had been unionized. Now, if you take a look at Amazon business model, you realize that it does not include being unionized. Keep this in mind. They will do whatever it takes to drive their profit margin and keep their shareholders happy. So there you have it on Amazon.
Another Mid-South employer laying off workers, FedEx, laying off hundreds this time around, but the company says it's a small number.
I guess it's a small percentage
Sure.
of their 30,000 employees here in the
Sure.
Mid-South, but Fox 13 Sheila O'Connor joining us live from East Memphis. We've gotten some numbers, and it is a pretty good-sized number when it's affecting lives. What are you hearing on this?
Multiple sources have told Fox 13 that FedEx is laying off about 300 employees. Of course, that announcement just coming down yesterday. Now, what positions exactly are being cut, that hasn't been announced, so that's what Fox 13 is working to get. But multiple sources, again, have told us that 300 people are losing their jobs. FedEx, one of the largest, if not the largest employer in the Mid-South, announcing those layoffs yesterday. Now, when the company announced the layoffs, they said they were laying off a small number of positions as the company, quote, streamline and realigns functions.
Let's take a look at these two words, streamline and realign. Now, when it comes to FedEx, I'm thinking more AI when it comes to streamline, because we all know that streamline means speed. So they're going to be speeding up things. And the best way to do that, I think, is through AI. And they could also do that by replacing a lot of these human jobs. Now, when you take a look at the mere fact that they want to realign, so that's definitely change. So again, guys, they want to get operation moving a lot quicker. They also want to make changes. And I'm thinking, based on the fact that they've walked away from Amazon, they have also walked away from the post office, which I'll be talking about that in a few seconds, and now they're downsizing. So again, we will definitely be taking a closer look into everything that's been happening.
Now, of course, layoffs with a billion-dollar company, they're not uncommon. Back in March, the company announced layoffs, another 300 employees laid off during that announcement. Then in June, the company announced up to 2,000 layoffs in Europe as part of the company's cost-cutting efforts. Now, for this latest round of layoffs, in a statement to Fox 13, FedEx says, quote, decisions of this nature are never made lightly and the result of much thought and consideration for the needs of our business. We are actively working with those affected by these changes to ensure they have the support they need during this transition. Now, of course, FedEx isn't the only Mid-South company that's laying off hundreds of people. Coming up in the next 30 minutes, I'm going to break down some new information we have about the layoffs happening at International Paper.
Yeah, it's tough to get news of layoffs this time of year, any time of year, but especially this time of year. Thanks, Sheila. FedEx has handled the domestic air cargo contract for the U.S. Postal Service for decades now. But now that business will now be going to UPS.
Fox 13's Your Money investigator Kate Beery is in studio with us. Kate, how long did FedEx have this contract?
FedEx had a 20-year partnership with the Postal Service. The question now is what impact this will have on the company, especially here in Memphis. The Postal Service contract brought in $2 billion in annual business for FedEx. That's according to Reuters. It is reportedly the largest customer for the company's air-based express segment. But some have questioned how profitable this contract was for FedEx. And after another round of layoffs just last month throughout FedEx, including some here in Memphis, employees are worried for what's next. One University of Memphis economist said time will tell on what the loss of the contract will mean for the company.
Now, when you take a look at this one, you'll see where FedEx is giving up a contract or has lost a contract to UPS that they held for 20 years. And now they're saying, well, it wasn't that profitable, so we have no problem giving it up. Sounds familiar, right? Remember I did a video a few weeks ago saying UPS was walking away from Amazon? They have no problem walking away. They have no problem realigning themselves. They have no problem automating themselves. They have no problem closing down buildings. They have no problem laying off. And by me saying that, it means that you have to pay attention. You really have to pay attention.
Major layoffs for UPS. By next month, 20,000 workers will lose their job, and that's on top of several facilities set to close.
NBC4's Christian Caceres is live outside the UPS hub in Riverside and what it means for all of us. Christian.
That's right, guys. Well, UPS released their first quarter earnings report today, saying that this is all due to new or increased tariffs and also the change in the economy. Now, they would not specify or give any more details as to how this would impact operations right here in Southern California. But today we spoke to several customers who believe they think that this will slow down services.
The future is grim for thousands of UPS employees. As the company announced Tuesday, they are cutting 20,000 people from its workforce and shutting down dozens of facilities across the country.
It's taking food off the table because people have their needs, and actually, all what's going on right now, they need to have a job.
There are a few questions you should ask yourself over the next couple of years. Do I really need this new car? Do I really need to start a family? Do I really need a third child? Do I really need to take this trip? Do I really need to use this credit card? Do I really need to impress this girl? Do I really need this relationship that is one-sided? Ask yourself, do you really need these things? Ask yourself, do you really need these things? And if the answer is yes, then sure, fine, go ahead. But if the answer is that no, reconsider.
At the UPS store in Victorville, word of the company reduction in staff and property raised concerns among customers.
That's really sad to hear. I'm sure that's going to affect all of us, not just the employees, but all of us who depend on UPS. That's going to be really rough.
UPS reporting it made consolidated revenue of $21.5 billion compared to $21.7 billion this time last year during their first quarter earnings report, blaming new and increased tariffs and changes to the economy. The company also reducing the number of packages they deliver for Amazon by more than 50% by the summer of 2026. UPS expected to reduce the company's estimated 490,000 employees by 20,000 positions in 2025 and close 73 leased and owned buildings by the end of June.
Pretty much I do all my online shopping.
We met Gabriela Batz outside this UPS store in Riverside as she was returning some of her online purchases.
It's going to be hard. It's going to be difficult. So the delay on, getting my refunds and getting my exchanges is going to be a nightmare. It's going to be a headache.
The company says it is not releasing details about how this will impact operations in Southern California until all its impacted individuals have been contacted. But some UPS workers told NBC4 off camera they have seen canceled routes due to low delivery.
God damn! God damn! God damn!
The company CEO saying the macro environment may be uncertain, but with our actions, we will emerge as an even stronger, more nimble UPS.
And back out here live, the company says as the reduction of staff goes into effect, they are also undertaking the largest network reconfiguration in history to be more efficient. But they did not elaborate on those details. Meantime, we did reach out to the Teamsters, the union who represents the UPS workers, for comment about this announcement, but we have not heard back. In Riverside, Christian Cáceres, NBC4 News.
Profit, profit, profit. Guys, they are all singing the same song. FedEx walked away from the post office because of profit. Amazon, UPS walking away from Amazon because of profit. These companies are all doing the same thing. Innovation, AI, profitability, speed with less. They're decreasing their footprint. No more $100 billion in revenue and only $20 million in profit. No more $200 billion in revenue and $12 million in profit. These guys are decreasing their footprint. And it's quite clear that these guys are running a smaller company for larger profit margins. I'd rather have 100 guys on staff, but I'm very profitable than having 200 guys on staff and barely making profit. Makes sense to me. So the game is smaller footprint, streamlined operation, moving a lot faster through AI, of course, and a larger profit margin. They don't care if they have to ruin relationships or past relationships.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
These are publicly traded corporations, so they have to do what's necessary for their shareholders to be happy. Now, you go ahead and tell me what you think. Tell me what you think about Amazon closing those stores in Canada. Also, tell me what you think about FedEx stepping back and giving UPS that contract that they had for 20 years. Tell me what you think about that. I would definitely like to hear your views on what you think with UPS laying off 20,000 workers. Ooh, that is really a lot. But they will be laying off 20,000 workers. They will also be closing a lot of their hubs. I think it's 19 by now in June. That's a lot of work. And whether they owned it or it was leased, they will be closing it. Let me know what you think about that. Let me also know if any of these buildings will be closing in your area. So I would definitely like to hear what you're seeing on your end. But here in New York, I haven't heard of any buildings being closed just yet. Now, before I go, let me also ask, how is your volume? Whether you're a FedEx driver, Amazon driver, post office driver, what's the volume like in your truck? What's the volume like when it comes to your deliveries? Are your volume shrinking? Are you getting more work? Let me know what you're seeing on that end. Now, once again, guys, we have come to the end of another great video. Now, if you found value in this video, please go ahead, subscribe, like, or share. Or better yet, if you know someone that might find value in this video, please go ahead and share. But you know you can't get all your information from this one video. So please go ahead and click on one of these right here. And now you will have access to the financial market, the financial news, current affairs, and definitely my journey towards financial freedom. As usual, guys, be safe, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.